Alright, so there's the shell, the T1 that I built. I added some detail and painted it this evening. Added a hatch door. You can see these fine lines right here. I put them in there, they're underneath the paint. Added a few of them. I don't know what those doors are for, but anything that I could see on pictures I put in. Right now it's just flat black. I don't know if I'm going to paint it the dark green or not. I still have to deal with the headlights and whatnot. I put the smokestack in there. I haven't drilled any holes yet. Obviously I'm not gonna because the paint's still soft. I put light pods in there. There's no lights in there yet. I will put little tiny LEDs in there though. Not too bad, not too shabby. I cleaned up the nose. There's even a spot for a pilot for the horn hook or whatever it is, a Katy coupler. There's the back end. I should have shaved down this, but I didn't bother. This is off the back of, that's actually the back of this, which I'm going to be using parts of this to build the tender. This thing's basically built out of junk. So that's that. I had to modify my first contraption. I wanted these wheels brought closer to the rear truck so it would turn better. It does work on 18 radius turns. This has no flange on it at all. I did make one mistake, which I'll have to address. These two motors are different. One's 1200 RPM and the other one's 12,000 RPM and the other one is 14,000. That's the reason why I'm not testing it, because I have to snap the motor free from the frame and change it. But it does work. The RPM is just a little off, especially from the start. But anyway, that's that. I used a little duct tape for now just to hold the wires in there, and I put some lead inside the shell for some weight. It's just duct taped in there right now. It will be. I will hot glue it. It's just duct taped in there because I don't know if I need more or less or what. I cleaned up the shell. I grinded all this extra crap off. There's a block bonded right there. There's a little black paint dot. That's where the hole is. And that lines up with this screw hole. And you just tip it upside down and you can get it. And if you give me a second, I'll actually do it. Sorry about that. So what we do is slide the back in first, jam those wires in. I was hoping that I would film the shell just running around and just hook up to a rivarossi tender, but I didn't want to damage anything having both of them running at two different speeds, so I said it's not worth it. Let me just get this in here. It's not sitting all the way in. I believe one of the weights is in the way. Let's see, here we go. Give me a second here. One of the weights this is the reason why I didn't huckle anything in. Because one of them I have positioned in there too. Anyway, I'll just pull the weights out and show you what it looks like with the shell. I'll do this tomorrow. Anyway, there's a block right here, and the frame sits on that, and it gets screwed in, but I had a piece of lead too close to it, and it was screwing up the height, so the shell wasn't popping all the way down. But, yeah, it's been one modification after another. Sometimes first run I had, it was the front truck moved way too much as far as when it was in the turns, and it didn't even need to. So I changed where it was pivoting from, and that yeah, something's still holding this up. Yeah, the wiring is in the way. But anyway. So that's how she looks when she's in. So she's not too bad. And this moves just enough to, with this slight articulation, I don't even know if that's a word, and the flange being taken off of that, so that doesn't really touch the rails. It allows the back end to move a little bit more. So I know that there aren't any of these models out there that will, the ones that handle a 22 radius turn, they look horrible because the flange is off, two flanges are cut off, and it just looks really odd going around the track. I won't have that problem. Most of my turns are 33 degrees, so 33 radius and 35.5, or 33.5 and 35, I think. I have a lot of 22s and a few 18s on the that are off the main line. But need be, it will run. It will run on the 18 radius. And I got a little bit of an issue with this rear frame that I made. I made it out of obviously used rivarossi parts, and apparently whoever owned it never greased it, because one of the channels where the axle sits is it's a little too worn. I did put a piece of very thin metal tape so the wheel won't get wobble too much, but it's causing it to wobble a little bit. Nothing crazy, but after all this work, I do want it to be correct, so eventually I'll get another parts train, and I'll chop it. So that's that. I made the front truck cover. It's got to be painted, but yeah, I made that because the rivarossi ones don't have anything around it. That's what the front end looks like. And this in here will be silver and black in here. That's some sort of grill with the headlight in the middle of it. Oh, that's the little light bods. I will put LEDs, little LEDs on the surface of that. I don't know if I'm going to bother hollowing this out and putting white light in there or not. I don't even know if it's worth it. just amazing that it came this far. So you can see some of the detail that I added. Those lines. These lines are actually thin, very thin pinstripes of vinyl that I plotted in a machine. And I put them over the shell, heated them down, and then sprayed over them. These little pieces here are very thin Lexan. I use the same plotter that I use for vinyl. I set up a file to cut this stuff and let it score it, and then I snap them free. The material you can see right here. See how this cutouts? What you do is you just put a cut line going around it, and then you can snap those out, and then you sand them by hand, and they actually look really good. I didn't get rid of all the sand marks. I spent half the day trying to straighten out the body work on this. It's about as good as it gets. I'm not a body man, and I wasn't about to coat it in any type of body filler or anything like that. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. Hopefully I will have the other motor in it, the correct motor, tomorrow, and we'll be able to take it for a test run. So that's that. Well, have a good night. Thanks for watching.